Ladies and gentlemen, it's game number 3 of the Risky Behavior versus Free Kspot semi-final for North American Challenger Cup. This could be the last game we see of Free Kspot this split.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Free Kspot finds the formula for success this time around. They haven't had the best of luck these first two games. First game they lost to drafting. Second game they lost sort of to overall team mechanics, not really utilizing the Hebo pick the way they wanted to. And so this time around, I want to see, I guess, a bit more of a safe team comp. Hebo, of course, was just not that successful. So Risky Behavior, they just have to do the same performance they've been doing. I mean, Risky Behavior has been finding the formula for success over and over again. And it looks like they're going to go right back to their very first pick of Soul.
God damn it. Risky Behavior is just getting what they want. Okay, so this is less of a good pick from Free Kspot. Prep it. Alright, never mind. Just forget it. Forget I ever said anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick Hell, you have to go ahead and lock in ODin with it. Otherwise, you set yourself up for a very bad time. And I think Free Kspot is giving their last-ditch effort at a high sustained late game team comp. But this is kind of signifying the same thing you said earlier, where Free Kspot lives in the late game. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good late game team. I love, a team that always respects the idea of playing to your team comp, playing to the idea of we all have a job in this team fight. We all need to stick to it. So I like that. I think it's a very, very respectable style of play, but at the same time, you have to have flexibility in your your god pool. Risky Behavior, Sobek and Hou locked in. I think that this is probably going to be a run back of the very first game we saw between these two teams.
Yeah, this is just interesting. It's kind of like a little bit of a flip. And again, we're kind of going back to Free Kspot going, hey, we want to play late game around Mindy. I just think, okay, so it's again, we touched on it at the end of the last game. Giving up so much early experience, gold, mid camps, all that sort of stuff is just basically saying, hey, we're going to find our way back into this game by doing nothing, right? And I don't care who the heck you are, playing whatever late game god you are. You could be playing the most mechanically intensive ROM you've ever damn well seen. If you make one minor mistake during the game, you're kicking yourself so hard. And that's the major problem that we've got to do. That's why I'm liking this Anhur pick. They're basically saying, alright, we have to win a lane. We have to win a lane this time around, or else it's going to be worthless. We win a lane, and then we have something to fight over.
Yeah, I like the Anhur pick, but I'm a little nervous about this ODin pick earlier, because now, with them having an Awilix and them having Hell, I either they're going to have ODin in the support role, or they're going to have ODin in the solo role. Now, if they have him in the solo role, we go back to the same issue of not necessarily having a stronger early mid game or mid lane god who can actually contest the mid harpies. But over on Risky Behavior side, I don't think that they're necessarily going to be too worried about it, as they're actually going to take Zeus and Najah. So Najah this time around going into the solo lane, and jungle. And then Sobek with Hou, and then Soul in the jungle, maybe?
So, it's kind of like, it's basically saying
she could be solo. Actually,
you've got this last pick, and we're comfortable. Yeah, we can run Soul in the jungle. We can. I feel a lot more like she's a lot more comfortable in that solo lane. You can even run Zeus there. You can even run Zeus there and run Soul in the mid lane if you really want to. Xing Shan.
I honestly think that Risky Behavior could just experiment around and throw Soul in the jungle. I've seen it done before. I think it was Weekend who was just like trying that out when Soul first came out and had pretty good success with it. Free Kspot though, Jin Chan, the last pick for them, so a lot of CC and a lot of healing. This is basically the same style of team composition we've seen out of Free Kspot all throughout the series, and it hasn't worked for them so far. I'm wondering what they're going to change about this time around that's actually going to make a different scenario for them. Looking where the gods were traded, FaymousHate sitting on Soul, so he's actually still going to be playing AD carry Soul.
Okay, so where does that leave us with Hu Yi? That's the question. That's the question everyone wants to know the answer to.
Well, I'm assuming that it's going to be jungle, as I believe I saw Skeeledon on that. So actually, solo is going to be Ho Yi. Ho Yi is actually on CrazyToaster, and that's going to be the solo pick, where Najah is going to be on Skeeledon. So again, a very interesting set of picks they have going on here. Ho Yi going to be able to box very efficiently against either ODin or Jin Chan with that Mark of the Golden Crow. So I really like the draft style of Risky Behavior.
Okay, there's one thing that I just picked out of the chat. Normally you don't look at chat. Normally you're sitting here, you're on Smite Game, and you never look at the chat. Some guy just compared one of us, I have a feeling it's me, to the guy from Diamond City Radio on Fallout 4. Dude, that guy's awesome. Normally, it's just such a weird and random comment, and that's the stuff I'm into, man. Anyway. We're gonna try and get back into spectating this game and bring it to you live as soon as damn well possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 3 of Risky Behavior versus Free Kspot. It's 2-0 to Risky Behavior. Will Kspot hang on? Find out after this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. This is game number 3. Risky Behavior is not playing Cupid B, unfortunately, but let's take a run down the the god lineups and the players that will be playing them this time around. Risky Behavior. FaymousHate's going to be on the Soul. Wubbn is going to be Crocodilius on Sobek. XenoTronics on Zeus. Skeeledon in the jungle on the Najah, and CrazyToaster is going to be round us out on the Hu Yi and the solo lane with the red pot.
Over on Free Kspot's side in the red jersey, we got FullPenetration Anhur in the duo lane. ElBrochacho in the support role is ODin. Mindy Rocks 420 in the middle lane is Hell. Copebby in the jungle as Awilix, and finally Motion in the solo lane as Jin Chan. Now, ElBrochacho playing ODin in the support role. I've always been scared of seeing ODin in the support role because I've only seen it done successfully about a couple of times. One of which being in combination with Thor. Actually, last week in the EU series, where basically they took ODin and used it as kind of an isolator for Thor's Anvil Dawn, where they would all gang up on the poor, defenseless AD carry and just jump on him over and over again. I believe it was a Rama, actually. So there was really no escape available to Rama in that situation. Now, ODin here is understandable because you wanted to try and take away the only anti-heal option that's innately built into a character at 100%. But,
oh, they're balls deep. Bluestone Pendant. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of Bluestone Pendant at, early starts. Look at Wubbn, though. Man.
Now I'm angry.
We're actually going to see the Anhur impale Wubbn into the wall, but nothing really resulting from that. Over in the left side of the map, though, Free Kspot going to take the left mid Harpies, so good job by them securing these this time around. You mentioned that they didn't have exactly the best.
This would be a straight up. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. They got the right-hand side ones from the side of Risky Behavior, and then straight into an invade because they got the wave cleared so quickly. So losing out on that farm from Free Kspot, they're gonna have to fight.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fight. So now in an awkward position, XenoTronics actually could get first blood here, but no, Skeeledon able to secure the escape route for XenoTronics, who was taking quite a bit of pressure, and no one's actually put enough pressure onto XenoTronics. Most of these games, XenoTronics has kind of just been let to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, watch this. He's probably going to clear this next wave that comes down, clear a back camp, go base. Skeeledon will do the same. They'll clear the other back camp on the way back out, and they've picked up 3 out of the 4 back camps. They've picked up 1 out of the 2 mid camps. They're just getting free farm wherever the heck they want. XenoTronics, he may not even need to go base if he's careful.
Good ring bounce from Najah sets Mini Rocks at a pretty low standing of health, but not really going to matter much. And ElBrochacho over in the dual lane taking quite a bit of damage as Soul looks to try and put a little bit more pressure onto this dual lane. ElBrochacho, of course, being ODin, your only way.
Skeeledon actually going to turn around and look for the lockdown. That lightning from XenoTronics is doing a lot of damage. Skeeledon got caught out a little bit by Copebby.
I'm alright.
And then kind of just trying to turn it back around. But, you know, they might be able to turn it back around here. It's the healing that they've got to be careful for.
Oh, but now Copebby is going for the kill opportunity. Najah up in the air. And they are going to be able to land the double kill for Risky Behavior. First Blood and Second Blood going the way of Risky Behavior. Sets them up quite nicely, especially with one going on the Najah, one going on to the Zeus. So both of them are going to be able to make their own kind of big impacts later on in this mid game.
I think it's just this entire drafting that Risky Behavior is getting. They're just getting free drops. Free damn drops every single day. And you know what it's not doing for free Kspot? Yeah, sure, they get a hyper carry. But guess what they're not doing? They're not getting farm. They're not getting pressure. You can see Copebby just wants to commit. And he really just wants to get into the face of XenoTronics because he's on the Zeus. That's what you need to do to a Zeus. He hasn't got anyone to back him up. That's what he's struggling with. And again, the Zeus pick is just totally safe. XenoTronics farms up. XenoTronics is there. He just does so much damage. He's got Zeus 3 games in a row. No, sorry.
Yeah,
he played Neath. Neath in the first game.
He's actually gotten Zeus 2 of the 3 games so far, so he's really favoring that pick. But over in the middle lane, a Lurking in the Water is not going to land onto ElBrochacho, forced to back. He has no mana and not able to actually contribute anymore. Meanwhile, his jungler and mid laner are going to go to the back harpies and complete those. Both mid harpies, no, actually only one set going over the way of Risky Behavior as Awilix tries to land the ultimate onto Zeus, who pops beads to avoid that. They're going to be able to take away this purple buff potentially, and I'm interested to see who they give this to. I'd really love to see a Sobek with a attack speed buff as Anhur makes his way over here. Might be a bit too rambunctious. Okay, so they're just going to give it over to Soul and then come over to the red buff even. So really feeling themselves. They know that they don't really have much to worry about here as ElBrochacho not using the ring just yet, but there it is. He's going to be taking way too much damage from this lightning storm, and it looks like they actually are able to secure the kill on the Zeus. However, Najah going up into the air with Mini Rock 420, he's dangerously low. Sobek uses the tail whip and not able to actually secure the kill. Just going to turn around and try and help full penetration. I like that discipline to realize when you can and cannot get the kill, and they're now actually going to just try and escape as what looked like a good fight for them initially ended out pretty poorly as ElBrochacho was the only one in the lightning storm.
Wubbn just gets caught as well. Alright, yeah, so now the reason that invade, they're gonna go all the way for it. Whoa. Okay, that's a little bit aggressive. They should be able to do it here, honestly, though. Especially the blink through.
Anhur is taking up most of it, and so now that they've reached it off to Copebby, they're able to go ahead and secure the gold for themselves. A nice bit of gold swing for free Kspot, who started off a little shaky, but because of some over-aggression from Risky Behavior, ended up on the stronger end. I think that Risky Behavior might have been a bit too confident in what they could and could not do. They took away the purple buff and thought that there was still not going to be enough response, or at the very least that they were going to have the manpower and the muscle to just outright win a fight against free Kspot in an even scenario. And to their credit, that's partially true, but you also have to consider whether or not Zeus gets the Dream Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, if Zeus gets that Dream Ultimate, you're talking about Dream Crushing Waves last game? Well, just Dream Zeus just drops Lightning Storm, eats face. You know, that's a little bit more dreamy because it's, you know, it's a lot more AoE. You can proc so much more damage off it. Personally, it just does so much damn damage on this patch, dude. It's ridiculous. So, he land that, sets up the combo. Down comes
ODin by himself. I'm not sure why that ring came out. In fact, he just jumps out of it. So, really confused to see that ultimate come out from ODin. I think he might have communicated to his teammate that there was a kill there, and then Hell wasn't on the same boat. And I'm not sure exactly what the idea was there, but nonetheless, that cooldown is gone for a little while. It'll be back up pretty momentarily. It's not a very long cooldown.
the reasoning for it was to lock them off from rotating towards the solo lane, because Motion just picked up a kill on a CrazyToaster. So they were like, alright, these guys, what's their immediate reaction going to be? It's going to be to rotate. ElBrochacho drops ultimate, jumps away, they can't rotate. Now if that was the planning, if that was the calling, good call. Very smart play.
FaymousHate over in the duo lane hasn't been pressured. We saw how well he could do with Soul in the last in the very first game. He's 0-1-1, so he has been getting a little bit of pressure, but not enough to necessarily suggest that Soul has been shut down effectively. And FullPenetration feeling pretty confident in actually boxing with her. He's jumped at her quite a few times.
Yeah, so he's on Anhur. Admittedly, so he's definitely got a god that's more capable of dealing with Soul. Look at the mid lane though.
Yeah, mid lane, the shot up in the air, and Zeus drops the ultimate for the landing. Detonate's gonna secure the kill. XenoTronics finding the kill on the Mindy Rocks 420, and now they're just gonna make their way into, well, I guess they were gonna go for the tier 1 tower, and then they decided to possibly rotate over the duo lane. It looks like that's going to be the official call. FullPenetration already dangerously low. No ultimate on Najah. However, they still do have the artillery sash as well as a bit of damage. XenoTronics got to find another kill. So 2 kills going on to Zeus's pocket in the last minute. Now that's going to be pretty good for them. Red buff coming up. They do have this timer, and they should be able to get this one with a bit more success than last time.
Hopefully. You'd expect so. Especially with kills on their side. And look at the rotations on the backside of things, though. FaymousHate's getting a lot of damage off on towards ElBrochacho. Gets flung away. Artillery sash look in place, but he's got the lunge. He's going to get straight out of there. Woo! ElBrochacho is playing with fire.
It was really cool to actually see Skeeledon chill on the other side of the red buff, just in case ElBrochacho tried to jump over the wall. But fortunately enough for ElBrochacho, he had enough extra life with his bird bomb to be able to escape to a point where he jumps is not a detrimental point. But CrazyToaster over in the soul lane, it's been really quiet over here. I mean, there hasn't been necessarily a lot of kills. There has been one, but outside of that, these two have just been playing the farm game. CrazyToaster sitting on the Warrior Tabai Bluestone Pendant, and then of course Xing sitting on the Shoes of Focus into Silver Breastplates, more than likely turning into a Breastplate of Valor.
I mean, Breastplate of Valor, just, like, look at the matchup he's in. CDR, you know, a little bit of tankiness, bonus mana. It's just perfect for this matchup over here in the solo lane. Especially when you start with something like the Mark of the Vanguard. So, you know, you've already got a lot of tankiness innately in your kit. As soon as you whack that one down, you're a Guardian. You're going to be totally good. So, basically just going for the Breastplate of Valor. That CDR, initiate, kites around, throws spells out all the time. That's what Xing's just so good at.
And now ElBrochacho going to come in with the Ring of Spears, set up some damage on the FaymousHate, who is just dodging around and actually able to escape just fine. So all that effort and no results coming out from free Kspot. 5-5 is the score right now, and we might see a couple more kills come out here, as it looks like the members of Risky Behavior want to aggress on this Hell, who's in full retreat, and they might pinch onto Copebby over here, who is actually going to rain a lot of damage on the FaymousHate. There's the... Oh, there's the chain lightning for the kill, and the shot goes up into the air with Mindy Rocks 420. That's going to be a lot of damage. Lurking in the water is not going to secure the kill. Skeeledon able to find the finishing blow onto the Hell, and now ElBrochacho looking for a way to get into this Goldbeard fight to try and save it. Bird Bomb charged up. He's going to go for the jump, and he's waiting. Bird Bomb runs out. The ring is going to do so much damage, ElBrochacho can't even stick around anymore, and that's going to be the Goldbeard easily going over the way of Risky Behavior, as FullPenetration wants to do something, actually gets knocked back into the rest of the members of Risky Behavior, trying to get them to jump over into the red buff camp, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so.
Well, really nice job from Risky Behavior. Just forces away. Just kills off those health costs, doesn't heal them off. And just forces them away. It's just numbers, right? Now they've got this Anhur who is like, yeah, I'm kind of in the game. I've just got my Transcendence online now. We have an ODin with Teleria boots and the Watcher's Gift, who's really struggling for gold, struggling for farm. So
CrazyToaster is gonna jump over the ultimate from Xing. Could have been bad if he got caught in that, but yeah, I mean, I like the point you were making on her. Kind of falls off a little bit as the game gets later and later. He doesn't have the best kit as an AD carry to just be that hyper carry that, you know, you see out of characters like Shablanke, Boyi, you know, characters like that. Even Soul is now kind of considered one of the stronger AD carries, but there's the initiation over the middle lane.
Yeah, jumping all in the Lightning Storm. Look at XenoTronics and the damage coming out from Skeeledon. They just wreck somebody's health, they wreck their lives, they delete them off of life, and now Wubbn's here turning it back over from a 2v3 into a 3v2, and it's just like, well, now what are we going to do? And they get the double kill. Now Anhur's here.
Yeah, Anhur trying to get the kill on his XenoTronics, does successfully do so. However, is he going to be able to survive? And looks like the answer is yes, as he does avoid the Ricochet and the Mark of the Golden Crow. But Jin Chen, however, is taking quite a bit of pressure. Tier 1 tower is not going to last long, and there's the Holy ultimate just trying to get that last bit of damage in to justify a tower dive, and don't necessarily need to do that anymore. They get the Tier 1 tower, and they're going to go ahead and just back off and spend some of this hard-earned gold.
Yeah, man, it's just, like, risky behavior. Like, okay, you guys can't really fight us early game. We're just going to pressure Mindy out of the game. Oh, now what happens? It's just literally their major weakness, and it's been so exploitable constantly in this series. Constantly. It's not happened once, it's happened all 3 games.
Well, I think that in this game in particular, they did draft a couple of tools to survive the early game. I mean, ElBrochacho on ODin. ODin's whole purpose is to just win the dual lane, and that combined with Anhur, that was their idea of trying to push into this early to mid game phase, is using Anhur and ODin. However, the problem I always have with ODin is that if you don't get those successful cages, if you don't get those ideal kills in the dual lane with that kill lane, then you're setting yourself up for a very difficult time, because ElBrochacho is not going to be able to tank up a lot of this damage, especially when Zeus is on the other side. So a lot of issues.
You cage yourself in with the Zeus, and it's just like, oh, I really hate ODin into Zeus, especially when you. I mean, they first picked their hell, and they first picked the ocean.
Go ahead.
Hey, CrazyToaster's on the board.
No, he is, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the board now. Okay, so that's why I really don't like ODin against the Zeus, because you know that it's not banned. XenoTronics is just gonna pick that up. He's just like, all right, jump on me, jump on me. What are you gonna do? Here's my spells.
Well, I'll tell you who's.
Where are you gonna go?
Who? Trying to jump on the Soul in the dual lane, and now the heavy rotations from the other side of the map is coming out as risky behavior. Looks to try and aggress onto ElBrochacho, who's gonna get a heal from the Hell and be in a okay standing, but now Hell is the one in trouble, as she might have invested a little bit too much into helping her teammates, and Wubbn, missing the charge, is not going to be able to actually secure the kill for his teammates. And Jin Chen is here now, so maybe they can find a turnaround fight that they've been looking for. ODin comes down. They're going to get a knock-up on a couple members of risky behavior. Free Kspot leading this fight off pretty strong. Zeus being locked in the CC, can't use the detonate just yet. Wubbn is not able to save his teammate. In fact, Wubbn was already dead, and now Skeeledon trying to make the turnaround play. One kill, gets 2 kill, and meanwhile, Holy is finding a little bit of luck himself. So just back and forth play, 3 for 2 is surprisingly enough, as it looked like Free Kspot was going to run away with that one.
You saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
CrazyToaster walks over to the purple buff and he's like, dude, that's mine. And FaymousHate walks over and he's like, dude, wrong lane! Wrong lane, man! He's like, oh wait, yeah, I am the solo lane. That's why I was giggling there. It's just funny when you see solo laners on Hunters and you see that sort of stuff. You know, just the funny interactions like that in the games. Those make the characters of the players just more interesting and informative to me, and I love seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a sign of how comfortable risky behavior feels this game. They don't really feel that pressure because there's not really any real pressure coming out as they start the Gold Fury and feel pretty confident in completing it. Even with ElBrochacho here, they aren't actually backing off of this objective. They think that they can muscle their way through it. And there's all the AoE circles coming out, and now risky behavior is going to lose the Gold Fury due to a good ODin ring of spears, but they might lose a little bit. They might lose a little bit of their own, as it looks like Free Kspot is on a complete retreat, just trying to walk away with that small victory, and unfortunately not going to be able to do it so easily. However, they did turn this fight around and might be able to get a little bit more, but Zeus doing Zeus things is going to be able to knock off FullPenetration before FullPenetration knocks him out. Hell link over the wall is going to be able to secure the kill onto XenoTronics. Setting up the inside, the free Kspot as was Gold Fury Steel, swinging the gold difference back down to 3.3k.
Okay. You're about to hate me once again. That Zeus damage was utterly shocking! He did so much! Like, yeah, okay, hate me later, but right now, like, just spat damage out, left, right, and so wasn't enough. And why wasn't enough? Yeah, they pinned themselves away from the gold tree, and they let ElBrochacho lock multiple of them in the cage. That's when they're weak. That's when they're not okay. Mindy got some free space in that fight. Blinks over a wall, secures kills at the end of the fight, does some decent stuff through the early and mid portions of the fight, and never puts, you know, herself in a bad position. You know? And that's the crucial factor, right? Is that suddenly they're positioning correctly, and FullPenetration can go really, really ham. Because ElBrochacho just tanks everything from the team. So they're starting to work those combos out. They've got to rely so heavily now on Mindy scaling. And when Mindy rushes a breastplate, Soul Trap probably going to go into the Soul Reaver for that. Just really needs the Soul Reaver, just for burst damage, right? So
maybe the book.
Okay, we've gone Bookatoth. Okay, so Bookatoth is, like, it's still saying, you know, hey, this item's good even without stacks on it. But I personally prefer something.
Yi in a lot of trouble here. He's actually surrounded by quite a few
He's
free
fine.
Kspot, but his teammates are going to back him up. He's going to be able to get out just fine. But yeah, the thing is with Bookatoth, it's such a good item in combination with the two prior items. So you got Breastplate of Valor, 300 mana there. You've got Shoes of Focus, which now gives 250 mana. That's a lot of mana to just be sitting on, and you're going to get a lot of bonus from that. But up in the air, Najah is going to do a little bit of damage onto Mini Rocks. Not going to be enough, however. In fact, he's going to be completely stuck. Got the tower before he died, so very good for him and his teammates. And this fight is breaking off into an awkward little split as XenoTronics is going to get knocked up over and over again into oblivion. Meanwhile, Wubbn trying to set up maybe something for his team, but hell, just healing way too much. Not going to be able to actually secure anything at all. They're going to need to get out as soon as possible. This Fire Giant is going to be pretty free for the guys of free Kspot, and it might just be the case. Wubbn not going to be able to get out. Gonna get taken out, and now Fire Giant is looking like a pretty easy win for the guys with free Kspot.
Yeah. Just all over that one. So, crucially, I'm not sure if you saw, but in yeah, that's just, that one's been going on for a while. FullPenetration. And FaymousHate, we're going at that one for a fair while. This could be something that's coming out from CrazyToaster, not so much being a hunter player, and more so being a solo player. He does, admittedly, he plays more carries coming out of that solo lane than I think a lot of other solo laners do. He missed like 75% plus of his auto attacks in that last fight. I sat there and I just watched him, and he just missed them, and missed them, and missed them, and then he'd hit one, and then he missed them, missed a bunch more. And it's so crucial, right? You really just need to hit anyone to just get that damage spike, get that back up there. No. Missed them, and they liked it. That's what they really needed.
I think that this team composition right now on the side of risky behavior is more of a kind of, I guess, experiment. I don't want to say it's an experiment in the finals of the Challenger Series, but it very well could be as the boss comes out from CrazyToaster. But, you know, it's not every day you see Yi in the solo lane of all 80 carries. Usually it's like a Neath or an AMC sometimes if you really want to get bold, or Uller is a very common one. But then all of a sudden you have Yi, and that's something that I've seen like maybe once or twice ever. So that being the case, I think that this is more of a kind of like, let's push this and see how we feel about it. Because we tried it in the scrims, we tried it against other teams, and we're in a pretty advantageous spot. Now, if that's the case, I'm not necessarily on board with that, because this is something you could have saved later, even though it's not doing that well right now. You still could have saved that information for later. However, if this is one of those things that they've been practicing, they feel veteran at it, then maybe maybe they needed to go a different approach to this in terms of how they're utilizing it. So
I think more so than anything, he's probably actually been missing a lot of auto attacks and fights in general. We just haven't been able to pick it up, because the ultimate's been doing everything. But he burns the ultimate before that last fight. That, you know, Sunbreaker is just gone. It's not there. It's not slamming 9 suns down. When you have a guy that shoots 9 suns out of the damn sky, and he's not doing that across all 5 of your opposition, well, you kind of feel like a little bit like you've lost all the light in your life.
Nope. Get out.
Yes! I'm on fire today, man. Just like Sol.
That one's weaker. that one was really forced. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was forced.
That was more forced compared to Sunbreaker.
But despite the fact that Fire Giant is on the side of free Kspot, Risky Behavior not actually too far behind. They were holding a pretty steady lead actually up until the last 3 to 2 minutes, and most of those plays that were available to free Kspot just came down to bad team fighting on Risky Behavior's part. So that last fight we just saw that just led into this huge tumble in favor of Risky Behavior, or excuse me, of free Kspot, was that Risky Behavior started off tower diving. Najah went up into her ultimate, actually ended up by herself completely. They got the tier 2 tower, but then they tried to make more plays happen. Wubbn as well as Zeus and Hou ended up trying to go for a big play and got punished for it when they all got killed, and then inevitably a deicide happened when Soul on the other side of the map was killed off 1v1 by Anhur. So it was just such an awkward turn of events that I think that had Risky Behavior played a bit safer, they could have just extended the game a little bit more and played it out. But now they have to deal with a full Fire Giant free Kspot.
And a Fire Giant Kspot that's got 2 beefy tanks and a help. They're starting to go in the point where it's just like, alright, this one might actually just be a little bit of a surrender, just go, okay. And
I don't think it's that point.
Admittedly, surrenders I hate normally in best of ones, because it's like, oh, this is really bad, we can't do anything, we've got no second game. But in a best of 5, I really like the surrender option in a match like this. Admittedly, Risky Behavior have normally outplayed Kspot in team fights, in group fights. But if they lose, say 1, maybe 2 more fights, don't wait for those Phoenixes to fall, just go, alright, sick, reset. And the point is, walk away for 5 minutes, go splash your face with water, reset yourself at your computer, grab a bit of a snack, make sure that you're comfortable to go back into that game as if you've just started the series again. Because if you can do that, your opponents aren't going to be doing that. And that means that you're just going to be set up so much better for that game. And you can just close it out. They've got a little bit of freedom here, and I really would like to see them use it if they do get in a little bit of trouble.
I would wait a little bit.
That's if they're in a bit of trouble, yeah. Not just...
It's a bit too early. They still have, relatively speaking, a very close goal differential.
Yeah.
And they still have their tier 2 tower, which they still feel confident defending. It's not that they're, hugging their Phoenixes and saying, we have to concede these towers. So, a bit early to be talking about
it's just...
But Risky Behavior, I feel like is going to look for any opportunity to catch one of these guys out on free Kspot and then delay this Fire Giant a bit more. CrazyToaster, however, might have bit off a bit more than he can cheat. Use his jump mechanic and set himself up immediately for death. But Zeus damage is responding quite accordingly, giving a kill opportunity over to the guys of Risky Behavior and then some. Now XenoTronics actually is going to be the captain of the comeback crew, as they are now looking at a 5v4 or 5v1 scenario against Anhur, who is more than likely going to be taken out before he can do anything. That's a deicide. So what was that about, Surrender?
No, that's fine. That's no, seriously, I was saying fight. But damn it, you took words of perspective. Then again, I did just make a bunch of puns, so I guess you kind of have free license with that. Okay, so what did they do correctly that fight from Risky Behavior? Look
Zeus.
at what CrazyToaster. Yeah, Zeus. But it's down to CrazyToaster's bait. CrazyToaster just pulls them into a choke, and they're like, "We gotta kill him. We have to kill him. We have to kill him. We can't run through this. We have to kill him. We can't run through this." What do? Freak out and just clear-cut, decisive calling, clean initiate from Risky Behavior, wipes a Fire Giant. Fire Gianted up, ahead, Kspot with a hell. What more can you ask for?
Well, Gold Fury looks to be like what they want to ask for, as well as a couple of the jungle camps that they already took away from free Kspot, just furthering their advantage over their opponents. And believe it or not, I mean, they were even able to defend the tower on top of all that. So, Risky Behavior doing a fantastic job of responding to the Fire Giant. They saw their opportunity, they took it, and they utilized their Zeus damage, and that was pretty much the ticket to sealing away a pretty, like, Free Kspot had a pretty good ticket to sealing away a victory chance by Risky Behavior, and then kind of ripped it up when they put themselves in a choke point under a Zeus ultimate. So really curious decision making by the guys on Free Kspot there. But
yeah, just threaten the choke. You don't need to commit to the choke. Just threaten the choke. Threaten them back and away from the tower. You don't need to commit there. Sure, you've burned the heck out of CrazyToaster. Take the tower and leave. Take the tower and pressure Phoenix. You don't have to commit there.
Oh, but now on the backside, they want to try and focus on the Zeus, and they might have invested a bit too much as Mindy Rocks, their win condition, already taken off the board, and now 3 members are going to be held under a Hu Yi ultimate as well. The job in the air with ElBrochacho going to take him out. So now no tank, no heals, no nothing. Full penetration as well as Awilix is going to just try and out damage their opponents, and so far Motion able to set up something, but that's not going to be enough as Soul, Wubbn, and Skeeledon just chasing away the enemy team.
Fire Giant just respawned too. I mean, admittedly these guys can't turn and take it at this point, but they've got their cash on a Copebby. Force him away! Oh no, not quite going to get there. Damn.
Yeah, not going to be able to actually close the distance there, but they are still going to feel comfortable around the Fire Giant because the Phoenix in the middle lane is still gone, so Fire Minions are still pushing into the base. That's just one of the unfortunate results of having a Phoenix gone, is you always have to be mindful of where those fire creeps are, and if you are Free Kspot, the best move to make right now is just push up the middle lane as far as you can and then start to posture around this Fire Giant, because that's where you're going to find Risky Behavior.
Right, so we see another fight come out, and they're okay with focusing out XenoTronics, but at this point in time, it's CrazyToaster's doing ridiculous damage, Skeeledon's doing ridiculous damage, and they've got FaymousHate. This is not just, you know, a 3 sort of threat lineup. This is not even a 2 sort of. This is 4 huge threats, and Wubbn's just like, all right, I'm gonna stand in the front line. We get a pick, okay, cool. That's really nice. And the problem that they're running into is they can't focus them down. Is there no wards? Is there no wards on that Fire Giant?
Well, there is ward. There's a Sentry ward in favor of Free Kspot. I was interested as to why they were going to the Gold Fury pit. I didn't understand the priority of like even contesting the Gold Fury. In fact, if they had any idea that that was happening, they would probably turn right over to Fire Giant. But fight is about to break out. It's the question of where is it going to start, and it's going to start with the Zeus as well as the Sobek. Zeus popping the beast to stay alive just a little bit longer. There's the Aegis to survive, and he's going to be able to avoid the raid boss Fire Giant just long enough for his team to come in and help. Aegis used on FaymousHate as well. That's a double kill for XenoTronics, as Free Kspot is not looking good. Their hell is still alive, but they don't have any damage to really back up their efforts right now, and they might just have to concede this Fire Giant as the rest of the members of Risky Behavior are going to make their way back over to the Fire Giant pit. I honestly think that at this point it might be better for the members of Free Kspot to just defend this middle Phoenix, as there's no way they're going to stop this, and Fire Minions are still going to be pushing the middle lane, and they're just going to lose their team members, not gain anything out of this.
Ow. Ow! Free Kspot. Where was Copebby in that fight? He was at the back doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. That was a 5v4 for most of that fight, and that's why it just got turned on its head. Which is because XenoTronics gets focus. XenoTronics, we're gonna kill that Zeus, we're gonna kill that Zeus. You're tunnel visioning. So at least you're focusing correctly. But you didn't kill him. He has Fire Giant. He's still alive. He does not care. If you guys want to focus him, he's doing exactly what I'd do in this scenario. Buy an Aegis. Jump on me. See what you can do. Absolutely damn well nothing. I'm going to drop my ult here, and there's nothing you can do. And look at that as well. Realization earlier in the game as well. Warlock Sash, bonus power, bonus health, because he knew that he was going to get jumped on and he was focused down. I really love Warlock Sash as an item in Zeus builds. It's just because you're so immobile, and everyone knows, go for you. It's the same as Hell, right? When you get that freedom as a Hell to build a Warlock Sash, it's like everyone's going to come and try and jump me, probably because I'm a little bit fed. Little Warlock Sash means you can survive it longer, means you can cycle through cooldowns more, do more damage. In this case, they all dive him, and they all die.
Golfer, you're going to be started up by Risky Behavior. They have a pretty commanding lead over this game, so I don't imagine that free Kspot is even going to try and bother defending this. More than likely, Risky Behavior after this Gold Fury is going to just turn their attention over to the last remaining tower on the side of free Kspot, and then look towards trying to push on one of these Phoenixes.
Well, they already got one, so it's like smartest option, safest option first. Let's not do that throw that our opposition have done to hand us back into the lead. Now they're almost 10k up. They're 8k up already. You know, so you gotta be really, really careful. They take another tower. They're getting close to that 10k lead. And Risky Behavior is just playing out of their minds. This set, just solid, clear cut. This is what we're gonna do. And apart from a few mistakes, oh, here goes the fight though.
Yeah, this ultimate does come out. Lightning Storm is not really going to land on anyone just yet. However, Fire Giant is paying itself off in dividends of healing. And Copebby actually links initiation, but the big AoE circles are just doing way too much damage. XenoTronics finding himself a kill on the other side. Triple kill going over to him, actually. So Deicide is going to be the deciding factor of the game. They're not even going to bother with this Phoenix. Or actually, yeah, they take it on the way in. And you know, that's the 3-0 set, going over to Risky Behavior, having a pretty dominant first game, second game, and a little bit of a shakier last game, but at the end of the day, they pulled it off.
God pulls. Just get a decent God pull. Because coming into this game, you can't put a ban on a CrazyToaster, because he's just like, alright, I'm going to play X, Y, and Z. Sure, you can put a ban on XenoTronics, but he played a Neat in the mid lane in the first game? Okay, so where else do you place your bans? FaymousHate got sold twice. They got... Xing got into these games twice. So, bans... a lot less generalized, but a lot less sort of focused around what they wanted to build out of their comps. God Select. I think all three of these games are just lost in God Select. You could just see that the theme of the comps, so long as they played consistently, the themes of the comps were just a lot stronger, a lot more synergy. And I'm sorry, but Mindy needs to step up. Mindy is honestly far better mid laner, so it's not like I can really say, hey, I could step up and replace Mindy. Heck no, Mindy, you're doing a fantastic job. It's just that this level of play takes so much more than what you've got. And playing two gods, two very defensive, very farm up heavy gods, in a mid lane and a meta which is so centric on having multiple people in that mid lane, I want to see something aggressive.
Well, to be fair, his team probably wanted him to play that for the overall team comp. But we're going to go ahead and get set up for the next series. As this one's over, ultimately done. Risky Behavior going to go on to the finals, as free Kspot is going to go over to the third place placement match. So we'll try and get you the third place match later on, but right now we're going to get set up for the finals. You guys stay tuned. This is the final series of the Challenger Series NA. We'll be right back.